Now I'm at the point you wanna be with me. I'm vibing out at a higher frequency, cause everything that I want and I'm gonna be, it's when I wake up, that's when I start to dream. Someone you love is talking down, here is the plan. Let it fall through like a handful of sand. Nothing happens overnight, what you must understand. If you dwell on the bad, then you don't stand a chance. Something you want upset, saying why it ain't mine yet. That's because now you have yet to change your mindset. People don't put their mind to rest while they're so wired. A lot of people go to sleep and wake up tired. Power of positivity and persistence. Say that I can, we'll just sit back and witness. Make an impact when our time is done. Make money, help people, and have lots of fun. Whoa.
Welcome to Office Hours, hosted by legendary sports executive, entrepreneur, and investor David Meltzer, where the brightest entrepreneurial minds in business, sports, and entertainment get together to talk about success, failure, and everything in between.
I have no self-worth tied up in Gary Vee or Gary Vaynerchuk, the entrepreneur. My self-worth is fully and utterly 100% attached to how I treat human beings.
I think love is the answer to everything as well. Love and compassion and justice and fairness, and which are all aspects of love.
The most important question anybody can ask is, what would I do and love every day, even if I were failing?
Take a deep dive into the mind of some of the world's most impactful guests.
And the reality is, life here on Earth is very short compared to eternity, and we don't spend a lot of time thinking about eternity and what that looks like.
People get new computers, they get new iPhones, they upgrade their apps. But when's the last time we upgraded, the technology that's created all of these things?
So I always challenge my audience and people I talk to about, sometimes is there a door in your life you have to close for other doors to open?
To share their strategies and tools to dominate their respective fields.
When we repeat anything, whether it's a constructive good pattern or a destructive bad pattern, our brain reinforces it just like a muscle.
All a belief is a story that you've said over and over again. Maybe you caught it from someone else or you had a specific experience.
Know who you are, know what you want, and make adjustments trying to get there.
David Meltzer hosts Office Hours.
An incredible week here.
Good morning, everyone. We are blessed to be here at the Masters. I want to thank everybody for Masters Masterminds. We are at the greatest and like none other event. I have Nick on Clubhouse setting the room for a very unique training today. We are blessed to be here with the interesting thought that I had to train people on, which is why more will never be enough. And I see so many people in all stages of their own success with the attitude of why more will never be enough. And there's no peace or ease in the pursuit of their potential. And so we're ready. I am ready to rock and roll. Just as a repeat, we will be in Nashville after the Masters doing a fire walk and a VIP dinner, then New York City with the NASDAQ Mastermind. So you can come and join us at the NASDAQ Mastermind there in New York, and VIP dinner in court. Come and join us, JB Hill, the Napoleon Hill Foundation and Institute. Amplify the message of Think and Grow Rich. Outwitting the Devil, How to Be Self Through Life, The 17 Principles of Success, etc. And then, of course, into Boston for a VIP dinner meetup and mastermind. Then also in Denver for a VIP dinner meetup in speech in Boston as well. But enough of that. There is an issue that people are having today. And the issue is that more will never be enough. And there is this reconciliation that we want more, which is great. We should ask for more, but there is no meeting of the feet. People don't understand that more is enough, and wanting more and pursuing more is absolutely enough. Getting more and then wanting more has to have each time its own fulfilling process that goes through. And so many of us think about, if I just could have a little more money, more success, more recognition, then I'd finally be content. And what I want you to do throughout this training and exercise, which I will provide to everyone, of course, with my book as well, just email me, david@dmeltzer.com, and it's pinned always, david@dmeltzer.com, is to stop thinking about, then I'd finally be blank, and start thinking about, for the sake of what? And when you find yourself thinking that if I just could have more of this, more of that, more, which is perfectly fine, it's a testament to your faith that we live in a universe of, it is the subsequent phrase that kills us. The then I'll finally be happy, content, joyful, at ease, instead of for the sake of what? You see, when we can replace the finally I'll be blank into for the sake of, we will always be content, joyful, fulfilled, and at ease. Only spending minutes and moments in dis-ease when we have instances of reactions to fears of all type of quantum nature, genetic inheritance, energetic inheritance, meaning of the past, all of these different things that cause us to create interference from where we are to where we want to be or better. So many years of my life, I moved from the world of not enough, where I was a victim, where things happened to me. I lived in comparison and conditions at all times, and blame and shame and justification, to a world where I was receiving so much more that I felt that I was in this world of just enough for me. Everything happened for me. Everything became a trade, a negotiation, quid pro quo. And although it seemed as if I had reached abundance, I hadn't made the shift in the paradigm from I will be happy when to for the sake of what. But still, although I had more money than I ever dreamed of, a better family than I ever dreamed of, a better life than I ever dreamed of, I felt empty because I kept saying to myself, I want more, which is fine. I live in a world of more than enough. But what's not fine is I kept saying, I want more of this. I want more money, more happiness, more of a relationship with my wife and children, more of everything. And I will be content when that happens, instead of for the sake of what. And this subtlety of an infinite chase in truth, chasing more will never fill us up. The pursuit for the sake of what will. We live in a world of more than enough of everything for everyone. It's a testament to the faith that there's more than enough information, more than enough energy, more than enough protected, promoted, loved, and perfected by the source of more than enough, your God, your Jesus, Muhammad, Joseph Smith, Buddha, whatever it is that is your best option to give you that faith that there's more than enough of everything, so that we can shift from this idea of lack, of I'll be happy when, to the abundant feeling of for the sake of what. This training will reveal why constantly hunting for more is fine, but it is locked into dissatisfaction if you want more to be happy, to be healthy, to be wealthy, to be worthy. If you will be happy when, instead of for the sake of being happy, for the sake of being healthy, for the sake of my children and family and friends, etc., my humanity. And how recognizing the sufficiency all around us opens the door to the authentic fulfillment that we look for, the essence of who we are, the inventory that we take of self to adjust ourselves that represent ourselves. Let's dive into how you can break free from the never-ending cycle of I want more and then I'll be happy phase of your life, and start living from a mindset, a heart set, and a handset of faith and abundance. The first thing that we need to do is recognize that illusion of more. More is never a fixed target, it's a potential. It keeps moving beyond your reach. That's the idea of infinity, infinite information. We want more information, there's an infinite amount of information. We want more energy, infinite amount of energy. We want more money, money's an energy, so there's an infinite amount of money. We want more health, infinite amount of ease. And the more is never a fixed target. It keeps moving beyond our reach, which creates void, shortages, and obstacles and interference between this abundant for the sake of what attitude pursuing our potential. And if you believe that contentment lies on the other side of achieving just a little more, just more, trapping yourself in endless dissatisfaction. So many busy executives today set a never increasing sales quota for themselves each quarter. They feel no real satisfaction when the targets are met. They instead utilize the pausing to celebrate or define success. They immediately raise the bar again and never allowing themselves to feel accomplished. Remember, celebrity is celebration. Become your own celebrity and celebrate the pursuit, the progress, and the failures, mistakes, and setbacks. Celebrate them by finding light, love, and lesson in them, by learning to enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit of them, by learning to enjoy the obstacles, voids, and shortcomings, the things that you didn't like or didn't love, or other people didn't like or didn't love. Learn to enjoy that for the sake of your health, your wealth, your happiness, not I'll be happy, healthy, wealthy when. Realize that chasing undefined more and attaching your outcomes to define more is like chasing the horizon. You'll never arrive. Fulfillment comes from understanding that the enough is a decision, not a destination. We need to write down the things, pay attention to the things, give intention to what we do, say, think, feel, and believe under the notion of more. We need to ask ourselves, for the sake of what? Is this truly what I want? For the sake of what am I chasing it? For the sake of what I think it will fill an inner void. For the sake of what? Instead of attaching to I will be content, happy, healthy, wealthy, worthy when. The second lesson is, how do we shift our mindset from the victim of to me to the for me, false facade of everything's happening for me, but yet it's just another form of scarcity, negotiating, trading, quid pro quoing, attaching ourselves to I'll be happy when, to an abundant world of for the sake of what? There's more than enough of everything for everyone for the sake of blank. Many people oscillate between these worlds, from being a victim to just enough to this beyond transaction, more than enough abundance. And they don't even realize that there is a more than enough perspective available. So many business owners constantly blame the economy for their poor performances, poor sales. They live in a world as a victim, the tariffs, the interest rates, the whatever it may be. Or they assume only they have enough resources to keep the doors open, just enough to keep us here, to weather the storm, just enough. But after adopting an abundant mindset of more than enough for the sake of what? For the sake of keeping the doors open, for the sake of increasing our sales, for the sake of utilizing our health, happiness, wealth, and worthiness in order to start collaborating with other businesses, sharing customers with one another, buying from each other, selling for each other for life. And we now see that the reach has expanded exponentially, proving that there's room for everyone to thrive, everyone to help one another, and know people to help one another for life. When we live in the world of abundance, we move from the life that happens to me or the life that happens for me to the life that's happening through me. You become a co-creator, a co-collaborator, a co-coordinator of the infinite amount of information, the infinite amount of energy that exists as part of all of us. We just want to figure out what we're doing to separate us from it. Of your new reality, it will no longer define it by the external limitations or definitions or destinations. Identify the world in which you currently operated from most of the time or from time to time. List out the practical shift you can make to step closer to this abundant mindset of for the sake of what, not I'll be happy when, turning the comparisons, the conditions into gratitude of the ability to find the light, to find the love, to find the lessons. There is an expense to all of this. There's an expense that we don't see in the chase considered to be the chase of the horizon comparatively to the pursuit of your potential by learning and loving what you don't like or love each and every day, consistently, without quitting, persistently in the pursuit of your potential, reminding yourself it won't be the mistakes, the setbacks, the slips, the falls, but it will be the lack of commitment that causes that interference and separation from the world of more than enough of everything for everyone for the sake of blank, not when I'll be happy if. So many athletes that I work with, they train relentlessly and they win multiple championships, but they suffer. They choose to suffer in the world of for me or not enough or just enough. They suffer from insomnia and from strained relationships and the pursuit of energies like money without enjoying their celebrity, by celebrating all that they have, by finding the light, the love, and the lessons, and forgiving the perceptions of what they think other people think or what people think they think. There's an inability to switch off from the pursuit of their next championship that leaves them chronically at dis-ease and distant from others, especially those they love the most, creating interference and separation from the infinite amount of information and energy that is there to create joy, happiness, and harmony, not dis-ease. The constant chase isn't just mentally exhausting, it's emotionally expensive. It is not a chase, it is a pursuit of your potential by utilizing a meaning of the past to forsake of what, not I'll be happy when attitude that drains your relationships and your overall well-being. Recognizing the toll, the emotional expense that allows you to replace constant pursuit, striving with conscious, purposeful progress of I'm going to do, say, think, feel, and believe aligned with my divine direction. And when these divine detours appear, I'm going to make sure that I create a non-negotiable behavior and negotiable behaviors according to that detour in order to effectuate and maximize the usage of the gift of time. The 24 hours I'm guaranteed every single day, except for the last day of my life. How many minutes, moments, days, weeks, months, and years are you defining it with interference? How many minutes, moments, days, weeks, months, and years are you attaching to I'll be happy when, I'll be wealthy when, I'll be blank when? Set a daily check-in. You have an alarm to just pause and reflect, remind, remember, and recollect on what you're actually grateful for. So many times, as I am one of the most annoying mentors and coaches and teachers. So if you want an annoying mentor, coach, and teacher, email me, david@dmeltzer.com, because I will annoy the crap out of you. What does that mean? I'll be honest and I'll be repetitive. And one of the things I keep repeating to everyone beyond the simple things to do or simple not to do is the simplest thing to do to impact your life is to say thank you. To find light, love, and lessons in everything you do before you go to bed and when you wake up. It'll shift your perspective to the more than enough for the sake of what, and reaffirm your current priorities accordingly. This will help break the behavioral cycle, the choices that are made from the clues and the patterns of our past, and shift the meaning of that past in order to facilitate this uncontrollable runaway ambition that is targeted towards a ultimate non-attainable goal of I'll be happy when, instead of for the sake of what. In order to do so, not only must we apply our why, which will then reflect itself in purpose, but also stay aligned. Stay aligned with our attention and our intention. Utilize mechanisms, methodologies in order to facilitate making sure we have our eye on the divine while we align with it. Being able to utilize a application of the infinite amount of energy and information, what we call inspiration, utilizing our intelligence and our intuition in order to facilitate a greater statistical success that creates acceleration, aggregation, and creates these compounding outcomes that outperform, I'll be happy when, I'll be wealthy when. Without a clear why in the application of it, any achievement will feel hollow. And I suffered this for so many years as I felt more and more hollow, even though my bank account kept filling up and more kids and happiness and health. Everything I ever dreamed of was there. Why was it when I was worth the most money at the peak of having 3 daughters under 10 and a wonderful marriage and my health and all these things that I had, did I feel so hollow? And it is the application of why that transforms that journey from a race, a competitive race, a transactional race, a negotiation race, I'll be happy when, if race, to a meaningful pursuit of for the sake of what. You can't have meaning unless you know for the sake of what. You can't apply your why unless you know for the sake of what. Shifting your focus from the external validation of others, the energy gap that's created by I am versus this is what I want people to think I am, buying shit you don't need to impress people you don't like. It is the difference of external valuation to internal fulfillment of your essence, your divine direction, making all the detours divine and even allowing divine time to illustrate, to shorten the lapse of time that is human construct between problems and solutions. You see, problems and solutions exist as one. We as human beings in our human nature need to create a lapse of time between the problem and the solution. But it doesn't really exist. It's just humans aren't capable of instantly seeing the solution in a problem for many things that they haven't seen before. It takes them time to recollect, remind, and remember themselves of the solution. We can guide ourselves with gratitude and forgiveness and accountability, applying our why and inspiration, utilizing intelligence and intuition. But in the end, the human interference itself, which is dictated by the time the heart stops till the time it starts till the time it stops, is a lapse of time. You are the problem and the solution. And our human experience is that lapse of time. So many aspiring entertainers that I work with that initially seek fame and fortune only to realize they're unfulfilled by superficial external validation. Celebrity is confused with fame, with recognition. Celebrity is the ability to celebrate self, to celebrate others, and I celebrate everything that's celebratable, which makes me a celebrity. Fame is an outcome that has no meaning, the same as money, unless there's a forsake of what. I want to utilize my celebrity and the acknowledgement and recognitions I receive in order to elevate awareness to this issue or for my cause or for the humanity. Once we recognize the application of why, not the search for why, to inspire hope through, for example, music as an entertainment or sports or whatever it may be, we shift focus to a community of people that want to help each other and know people that help each other. And we utilize them for purposes and cause, which is why everything that we do here at the Masters, Nashville with the dinner and the firewalk, New York at the NASDAQ and meetups and holding courts and the VIP dinner for Napoleon Hill Foundation, Boston with the speeches and the meetups and the VIP dinner, Denver with the speeches, the meetups, and the VIP dinners, all for a purpose or a cause, for the sake of Unstoppable Foundation, for the sake of Junior Achievement, for the sake of Napoleon Hill, which brings far more satisfaction and a greater engagement of a neighborhood of people that want to help each other and know people that can help each other. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. I'll repeat that. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. When your actions align with the core values and purpose of yourself, your inner essence of your skills, your knowledge, and your desire in the divine direction, success becomes a byproduct. Not a I'll be happy when, or I'll be successful when. I am successful for the sake of helping other people, to empower over 1 billion people to be happy. It's a byproduct of my essence. Carrying on a brand, an authentic brand of being able to empower others to be happy, to make a lot of money, to help a lot of people, and to have a lot of fun, to live in that world of more than enough through wisdom and faith, shortening the lapse of time between the problems and the solutions that exist, rather than a never-ending chase of the horizon. I'll be happy when, I'll be successful when, I'll be wealthy when. Does not work. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. So define your core values. Define your non-negotiables, minimum of time on sleep and family and faith and finance and study of time and relativity and all the other things, our health. Evaluate the direction and the time spent in that direction comparatively to that what you're doing to interfere with it. Understand that your current goals against these values adjust and will create divine detours if you look at that in that direction. The next lesson within the context of why more will never be enough is gratitude ends the chase. You got to embrace it. Gratitude is the reconciliation. The ability to find the light, the love, and the lesson is the ability to shorten the distance of resistance, the lapse of time between a problem and a solution, and the struggle that exists in that time. Gratitude kills that reaction to fear and the envy at their very roots. The comparative nature of the conditions, the blame, the shame, the justification. You can't be thankful and resentful simultaneously. You cannot be thankful and resentful, guilty, hurt, frustrated, angry simultaneously. A grateful mindset grounds you in the present and illuminates the faith and the abundance that is already in your life. So many social media influencers that I work with become fixated on gaining more followers and likes. After practicing daily gratitude, they focus on supporting comments and existing loyal audience and stop obsessing over the numbers. Surprisingly, engagement grows when we look at for the sake of what and not the celebrity or fame of following and the wanting people to think I am attitude. It will organically grow with the people that are aligned with the frequency of you, your essence, your skills, your knowledge, your desire, and they will authentically be grateful for you and the community. Adding to it by helping others and knowing people that can help others. When we seek more, often stems from a perceived lack. Gratitude flips the script. You can't feel grateful and interfere with your inspiration. Gratitude flips the script by highlighting what's right, the lesson, the love. It shortens the distance, the lapse of time between problems and solution, rather than what's missing. Create a fertile environment of more than enough, looking for what you want, not what you don't want, not what's missing, not what you don't have or other people think about you and the perception of what they think you think or the perception of what you think they think, which is an impossibility. Genuine success, joy, happiness, and ease come from gratitude to end the chase of I'll be happy when, I'll be successful when, I'll be wealthy when. Every night, I want you to think about the things you appreciate every day by saying thank you before you go to bed. Thank you when you wake up. This is the habit that rewires your brain to create problems and solutions as one, to shorten the distance of resistance, not only with the wisdom of gratitude, but the faith that it represents for your brain to look to the positive, to the light, the positive to the love, and positive to the lessons in even some of the most situations. Gradually, it'll loosen that grip of not enough. and move you to more than enough. As we cultivate this receiving mindset, another interference that people have is their ability to receive, because they forget that when they receive, somebody else was capable of giving. And that is the greatest feeling, that we're giving to other people is their capability of giving. And we cut that off because we think we're humble. Many driven people focus so heavily on giving and striving that they block themselves from receiving help themselves. They don't see what they're given. The opportunities, the options, the touches of favor that seem to most, including themselves, when the time it occurs, as punishment, a problem. But yet there's the solution, the options, opportunities, and touches of favor of all that you're given, even from the most dire circumstances of loss, of setbacks and failures. The blessings are already available. So many nonprofits that I work with spend hours on admin work. They list out the tasks. They realize that some have to be delegated. They utilize the importance versus urgency rules and matrix and train their assistants and build trust with their team. And they have a feeling that they're focusing in on this empowering leadership and growth. They put everything into their family, their friends, their associates, their community, their vendors, their customers. They spend all of their time pouring into the people they don't know or hardly know, and don't have enough to give to the people they do. A receiving mindset allows you to recognize and accept that all that life offers can be given through me, whether it's support from a mentor or unexpected new avenues, options, touches of favor for expansion, for acceleration, and for an exponential outcome of more than enough of everything for everyone, without connecting I'll be happy when, but instead of focusing in on for the sake of what. I am going to receive this for the sake of helping others. I'm going to receive this to feed other people. I'm going to receive this to build a bigger community, to help one another and know people to help one another. I'm going to receive this to exponentially make it grow. We need to practice the Cancel, Clear, Connect philosophy that's written and connected to goodness, which, by the way, if you want these lessons, exercises, and guides, email me, david@dmeltzer.com. I'll also send my book that will talk about shortening the distance of resistance through canceling the negative thoughts, words, beliefs, feelings, by connecting to a higher in spirit, infinite intelligence, intuition, information, and of course, energy. Catching ourselves when we're getting in our own way, when we're creating more distance between us and the solution. Cancel out the negative self-talk, the voice, clear the emotional expense and residue, and connect to the ultimate, infinite, inspirational, intuitive source that we are a part of. Stop interfering with it. You are worthy for the sake of being worthy. Not you will be happy when you are worthy by achieving something. The next lesson is redefining the enough attitude, the conscious choice that we must make of understanding what enough is. When enough becomes a moving target, you'll never feel content. You'll only have void, shortages, and obstacles, and a hollow feeling, an empty feeling. By consciously deciding what enough looks like for you for the sake of what, you will take control of your fulfillment, your passion. You will apply your why to everything that you do. So many tech entrepreneurs that I work with, they measure success by their venture capital round or their bank accounts or acquisitions. After realizing the golden handcuffs that they're trapped in a perpetual discontent of always having to raise money, always needing more, they define enough as having the freedom to spend the weekends with their family and support a cause they care about. Now life becomes noticeably more harmonious and joyful and happy for the sake of the family and the time spent with the family and the cause that they care about. True power arises when you choose to see your life as more than enough of everything for everyone for the sake of allowing it to come to you for what you feel is important, rather than letting arbitrary markers like money, social status, accolades, celebrity, followings dictate your own selves, your self-worth. We need to create a personal definition of enough. Enough means that I have the freedom to spend quality time in harmony with my loved ones and pursue for the sake of meaningful work and maintain for the sake of well-being. Let this guide your decisions, not I will be happy when, healthy when, I will have enough when, because you'll never get there. We could shift the paradigm. This idea of pursuit is different than chasing. We can pursue in a divine direction. We can pursue the light, love, and lessons in the detour. We can pursue our acknowledgement of time, but we don't chase it. And when we shift from for the sake of what to I'll be happy, we shift from I'll be happy when for the sake of what, we are utilizing the laws of attraction, of perception, and responsibility. Energy attracts like energy. When you consistently chase, you're operating with scarcity, that there's not enough of it, that there's only enough for me. And when you are grounded, grateful, and aligned, you naturally will clear the interference between that which is aligned with you at the same frequency as you, at the essence of you. And the bigger the opportunities, options, and touches of favor will occur. So many freelancers and entrepreneurs go through cold calling companies daily with limited results. They go through social media marketing companies daily with limited results. They go through email campaigns daily with limited results, trying to refine their brands, their products, solutions, services, personal brands, and portfolio. And the message around their unique style gets lost, and clients start finding them and are lost. Instead of the inventory of the idea that I'm going to work on myself, I'm going to improve my skills, my knowledge, and desire. I'm going to utilize time with non-negotiable behaviors that I know are aligned with my divine direction. And through the word of mouth, and a business grows because people are buying from us and selling for us for life. The fastest and easiest way to stop chasing, but start attracting without desperation, void shortages, obstacles. I'll be successful when is not enough. Success is not about hustling harder. It's about aligning with who you truly are, so that the right opportunities, options, such as a favor, flow through you and come to you for others and for the sake of what you desire in your human experience. Let's start each day with our intentions and our attentions, notating through all types of different things, meditation, journaling, vision boards, whatever it may be, that we need to pay attention to what we do, say, think, feel, and believe, and give it our intention. Each day, with non-negotiable, non-circumstantial, and negotiable and circumstantial behaviors that are all in a conscious human experience of I'm doing my best to do, say, think, feel, and believe, aligned with the divine direction, shortening the distance when detours come, making them divine, and allowing for divine time, not an attachment to I'll be happy when, but divine time for the sake of what? When we recognize the illusion of more, when we can shift our mindset from the victim to the to me, to the for me, negotiating, trading, buying shit you don't need to impress people you don't like, to the abundant world of more than enough, to understand the emotional expense of chasing, finding and applying our why with purpose and alignment for the sake of what, and then, of course, embracing gratitude to end the chase, to find the light, the love, and the lessons, to cultivate receiving, to make people feel good by allowing them to be capable to help us so we can help others, and the infinite loop of giving. We can redefine enough. It is actually a conscious choice to live in the world of wisdom and faith, of more than enough of everything for everyone, with something bigger than us that loves us, protects us, promotes us, and perfects us. We don't have to chase. It's already there. We just have to clear what we're doing to interfere with it. I am, not this is what I want people to think I am. What am I doing to interfere with I am? And remember, you are happy, healthy, wealthy, and worthy already. doesn't have to be anything other than for the sake of what am I happy, healthy, wealthy, and worthy. We just got to figure out what we're doing to interfere with it. Embrace gratitude, focus on purpose, and let the chase give way to the genuine fulfillment, harmony, and ease that you are already at. Now is your moment to stop striving for more and start living for abundance that's already yours. Why more will never be enough? For the sake of what it will be. Thank you so much. This has been the Road to Revenue coaching, training. I've been doing this for over 26 years. Please, if you like the exercises and guides, my book, I'll send it to you, sign it, pay for shipping in the book, not a problem. David@dmeltzer.com. David@dmeltzer.com. Come and join us in Nashville, New York, Boston, or Denver. Reach out to us as well. We'd be happy to facilitate whatever help we could. We got meetups, holding course, speeches, VIP dinners, masterminds, 200 a year. We're at the Masters right now. Come visit us next year if you're a big Masters fan. We had incredible people with us and an incredible experience as always. All right, Nick of WOM, it is your time to reset the room. Please, everyone, get the exercises and guides in my books, David@dmeltzer.com. Nick of WOM, it's all yours.
Thank you, sir. And thank you, David, for incredible training. I can tell you personally, this is definitely something that I needed to hear. So thank you for these incredible lessons pertaining to the never-ending chase, why more will never be enough. And for everybody joining us, whether you're online or live here in the Breakfast with Champions, you know what time it is, people. It is time for some Q&A. So as you have your questions for David today, please make sure if you're online, put them in the chat. And of course, if you're live here on Clubhouse, please request to join the stage by using the hand icon in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Or of course, if you're already on stage, please just put a brief note in the chat that you have a question and I will pass it over your way. Now, with that said, David, we have one of our best friends ready to rock and roll. He's always first to the punch when it comes to questions. Of course, it's time to get swifty with Mr. Brian Swift. Happy Friday, Mr. Swift. Unmute yourself and the mic is yours.
Happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Dave, man, there's no way of summing this up in one question, but a big part of what I got out of it is when you have the mindset, if I only had more, I would be happy with, and stop kind of lying to yourself about, I will be happy and healthy if I only had more, which is an illusion. And we pay a price for this illusion of chasing this pursuit of more if we don't replace that with for the sake of, which for me kind of allows you to enjoy the journey. If you keep saying I'll be happy when I have this, or I'll be content or healthy when I have, it doesn't allow you to enjoy the journey. And the journey is is the longest part of our life, is the journeys we're on, but for the sake of allows us to enjoy that journey.
Correct. And stay fulfilled, not search for fulfillment.
So it is, a lot of this drives towards enjoying the journey when you can answer that for the sake of what?
Yeah. And I think we just don't take the time and we lie to ourselves. The biggest lie that we make is when we're pursuing more for the sake of more, that we're doing more for our family when we're actually hurting our family. That's the most common one, right? I used to lie all the time, right? Oh, I'm doing this for my family. I didn't think about what I was actually doing. Like, why would I be doing that if I was really for the sake of my family? That doesn't make any sense. And so within the context of harmony, I'm constantly battling for the sake of, that's why here at the Masters, I'm with two of my daughters and my son. I'm doing the Masters Mastermind for the sake of the community and also for the sake of my family. Also for the sake of charity, which we put into TY's foundation with the Players Impact on Wednesday here. I'm doing it for the sake of building my community so more people will help one another. I'm doing it for the sake of my mission to empower over 1 billion people to be happy. I'm balancing. I'm not just deciding that there's one thing, but I'm utilizing the purpose and the fulfillment of all of that. So now, instead of going to the Masters, because I'll be happy when I have time to spend with my family, raise money for charity, spend time with celebrities, athletes, entertainers, have a bigger community. When I have that, I'll be happy. Instead, I'm doing this and aligning what I'm doing, saying, feeling, thinking, and believing with I'm doing this for the sake of all those things. And now I'm completely fulfilled, and other people are inspired by it to be fulfilled as well. Do you see the difference of the exact same situation that used to cause interference and voids in my most important thing, and lying to myself that I came to the Masters for the sake of being able to give more money to charity, help my family, instead of thinking about, okay, if I'm doing the Masters and the mastermind at the Masters for the sake of my family, for the sake of my community, for the sake of charity, for the sake of what I lied to myself about, then what does that look like? Well, it looks like what I'm doing today and yesterday and Wednesday here. It doesn't look like I used to do here 15, 20 years ago. Do you see the difference?
Absolutely. No, and it's a clear-cut difference when you listen to how you explained it, and yet you're accomplishing more through that ideal of gratitude, and you can't have, both gratitude and be resentful at the same time, because you're cultivating this mindset, which is awesome. So thank you so much.
You got it. Thank you. I'm a Swiftie. That's Brian Swift. Appreciate you, everybody. If you like this guided exercise, it's david@dmeltzer.com. Nick of Wam, what do you got for me next?
Yes, sir. We have Fred, who is ready to rock and roll here on Clubhouse with the next question. So, Fred, happy Friday, my friend. Feel free to unmute yourself and ask away.
Thank you, Nick. Hello, David. Great training today. Love what you shared. And, this is something I've definitely experienced myself, being so focused on a big goal, a big objective, and maybe getting frustrated about why it's taking so long, or you're not achieving that. And certainly not losing sight of celebrating all the small little incremental steps that happen. It's some wins, because each step is part of that long marathon that we're running after. And just a great reminder to focus on gratitude for the blessings that we have along the way, because when you stack all of them up cumulatively, then it's going to get us closer to our big goal, whatever it is that we're chasing after. And so it's like that famous saying, it's not about the destination, it's about enjoying the journey while you're on it.
And it's so important, right? You talk about that chase. We don't have to chase anything, right? There's a difference between chasing something and pursuing for the sake of what, right? We're advancing, progressing for the sake of what? When we chase something, we're never going to, it has to be something that we actually can catch, and we can't catch more. And so we can pursue more and we can progress towards more, but we cannot chase more because we'll never catch it. And so when we learn to enjoy what we don't like or love, when we join to love the distance of resistance by shortening it, by utilizing wisdom and faith in order to effectuate for the sake of what, not I'll be happy when, successful when, healthy when, worthy when, whatever it is, but instead I am, what am I doing to interfere with it? We now shift a paradigm to live in fulfillment, not a hollow, empty existence, living our lives like a tube, food in, food out, food in, food out, rolling a boulder to the top of the hill just to have it roll down to the bottom.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Thank you so much. And I'll tell you one more thing. Guys from Philadelphia are generally very well received up in New York City. And so I'm looking forward to coming up next week and seeing all of you guys again in person in New York at the event. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We look forward to it. Yes, please join us. We have the NASDAQ Mastermind, a VIP dinner, cocktail party, etc. for the Napoleon Hill Foundation. I'm the chairman of the Napoleon Hill Institute. JB Hill, Napoleon Hill's grandson, will be there. Cleona O'Hara, myself, Nick Hutchinson, our CEO, Brett Powers, the CEO of the corporate division. We got everybody in the house. Let's all join each other. Let's join that frequency. Fred, we are really looking forward to seeing you and your friends in the Tri-City area to come visit us in Manhattan at the NASDAQ. It'll be awesome. All right, Nick of WOM, believe it or not, we got my lucky 11 left. That's 11 minutes. I was born 111, the sign of angelic energy, 111. So carry on the 111 and bring me up where I should take the next question from. We got tons.
Absolutely. And real quick, I see Angie in the chat saying, come to Massachusetts. Well, we will be in Boston next Wednesday, the 16th, Angie. So please make sure to reach out to David directly to get the details so you can join us then. And just a reminder, it's just david@dmeltzer.com. Once again, david@dmeltzer.com. Now, with that said, moving from Boston and speaking of New York, I know our friend Brent is going to be joining us in New York next week. So always excited to see you, my friend. Yeah, I know you are also ready with our next question. So passing the mic over your way, feel free to unmute yourself and ask away.
What's up?
What's up?
Happy the 11. This is the 11. It's the 11. So David, getting out of our own way. That is the theme here. It's the theme. Like when so my question is simple. When did you realize the journey was within and not without for you personally, David? When did you realize that? And when did you realize that you needed a mission to make everyone aware of that?
Well, there are two separate times. I think the ultimate lesson came. I was on a transformational direction, learning as much as I could, but the true enlightenment came when I told my mom, when I lost everything, over $100 million, that I lost her house, which was for the sake of why I was rich, to buy her house, because she was an unbelievable mom who raised 6 kids, working 2 jobs, packing our dinner in a paper bag to teach us, and living on food stamps at times, and definitely in a world of scarcity. But when my mom smirked at me when I told her that I lost everything and she had to move out of her house, and I said, "What are you smirking about?" And she said, "Well, you're loved and blessed." And I said, "What are you talking about, Mom?" I go, "I'm being punished." She said, "No, you're not." She said, "God is protecting you." And I said, "Well, no." I said, "He's punishing me. And in fact, I don't believe in God anymore." And she smirked again and said, "Oh, yes, you do. You just believe in the wrong God." That's when I realized the paradigm would shift for me from this idea that I needed to chase something and get over, under, through it, around it, lie to it, cheat it, manipulate it, deny it, worry about what other people think, or think about what other people think, or worry about what they think I think. It didn't matter to me. It was all a perception. But in the end, it was the wisdom that I sought and the faith that I had that I was protected, promoted, loved, and perfected, and I was interfering with that. And through that transformation came all the other nuances of the last 17 and a half years in order to facilitate the progress, the perfection in that direction that occurs by learning to love what I didn't like or love, learning to love what other people didn't like or love. It simply came to a paradigm shift. No longer I will be happy when, I will be healthy when, I will be wealthy when, I will be worthy when. I am happy, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am worthy. What am I doing to interfere with it? What am I doing to get in my own way? And it requires faith and wisdom to even elevate your awareness, to see the clues and the patterns of what you're doing, to make the better choices, the fulfilling choices for the sake of what. And Brent, you've been learning it. I love you, my brother. Look forward to seeing you, although I think I'm going on a ski trip. But we are going to be in Boston and Denver, and we're always back. You'll be there in spirit if you can't be there physically. We love you. Thanks for joining us.
I'm in. I'll see you on Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.
Yeah,
all right.
Happy the 11. Read my the 11 newsletter. I'm putting it out today, David. Thank you so much.
I am the poster child for 11, so perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. We are blessed to have the best community, and we are blessed to have this community. We are blessed for the sake of helping other people to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, have a lot of fun. Email me, david@dmeltzer.com. David@dmeltzer.com. Get the exercise guides, books, invitations, not obligations, and join our private networking group. Be a part of this community. It's guaranteed. How many people can tell you that? It is guaranteed. You are not wasting your time, your money, your value by being a part of our community, our private networking group. If you don't believe me, ask the thousands of people that do belong. We guarantee it. If they belong, that means they have bought into the guarantee. Anyways, you're happy to reach out. Nick of Guam, we got 6 minutes of the 11 left. What do you got for me?
Absolutely. I have a good friend of yours, Mr. Aaron Wexler, who is ready with the next question. So, Aaron, it's great to see you, my friend. The mic is yours.
Let's go. What's up, everybody? Awesome. Did you channel all that? It seemed like it was a channel. That was a beautiful, just wise words from you, man. So my everything you said was a yes for me, and it immediately made me think of for the sake of what? So for the sake of freedom, I've been putting it in the chat. You know, you've always, ever since I've known you, you've always seemed so free. You seemed so free with your time, your energy, your wisdom, and your ability to travel. And I want that. You know, I want that. We want that. I think we all want that. So I think for the sake of freedom is kind of where my mind went. And it's like, I want to spend more time on the how part, specifically, digital assets. So much love, y'all.
I appreciate that. And I want to define freedom. And whoever is commenting, just mute yourself. And hopefully, if you don't get a chance to speak today, every single day I take Q&A. So we haven't asked me anything on Mondays. We have Q&A on the IGs, the office hours. Just please email me the question. I'll be happy to help you, because it sounds like somebody's frustrated there. But freedom is the ability to do what you want, when you want, with who you want, for as long as you want. And believe it or not, we need to learn and align that freedom. Because if we're in the pursuit of more, and that's a horizon that we're chasing that we never will receive, then we're going to be stuck in that complete loop of shallowness, of hollowness. And it's not until you realize that my freedom exists for everyone, because I've learned to do what I want. And if I didn't like it or didn't love it, then I learned to like it and love it. Now I was doing what I want. I learned to utilize my time to spend as much time as I want with who I want, and being very clear in the minutes and moments that I'm not. Understanding even my non-negotiables have exceptions. I'm just not going to stack 2 days in a row of exceptions. And I'm going to utilize my time as efficiently, effectively as I can, with gratitude, forgiveness, accountability, and effective communication. And so shifting the paradigm, even in the perspective of doing what I want, when I want, with who I want, for as long as I want, is a mindset. It's not some sort of quantitative amount of time, quantitative amount of money that I will be able to be free when. I am free. What am I doing to interfere with it? Am I spending too much time with the wrong people? Am I not learning to love what I do with gratitude and forgiveness and accountability? What am I doing for the sake of what am I doing it in order to facilitate the freedom of that 11 that you're sending out your newsletter for? All right. Anyway, Nick, I have time for one more question.
Absolutely. And we have your two favorite letters of the alphabet ready to rock and roll, which is GG. GG, please round us out with the last question of this session.
Hello. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Oh, she's muted.
So my question, it's the first time I'm using this. So my question is, how do you reconcile living in a world with more than enough and the enemy of good is better?
How do I reconcile living in a world of more than enough and
the enemy of good is better? Like, how can we have that? Yeah.
So the inner me of good is better. So what I think you're saying, and I don't have time to get too deep, so I'm going to go ahead and define that. So I think what you're saying is, in a universe of more than enough of everything for everyone, how do I reconcile my own essence with that, my inner self, which is my cells, which is a combination of the energetic and genetic inheritance and my ability to, as Aaron said, channel, right, to be at ease with infinite information and energy. And so the reconciliation is actually already occurred because it's already won. And so shifting your mindset to that I'm just interfering with it, is the reconciliation of the inner and the outer. You can't find outside of you what you can't see inside of you. You're just interfering with it. And so when we work within to see without, and vision is not seeing, vision is that pursuit of your potential and understanding the interferences of the clues, the patterns, and choices that we keep making in the human experience, defined by each day, guaranteed by each day, except for the last day of your life, you'll be cheated. So the bigger lesson in reconciliation of anything is there's no reconciliation. There is a remembrance, a reminding, and a recollecting of the oneness by shortening the distance of interference, of distance of resistance through wisdom and faith. And as we use linear time in order to effectuate that shortening, we now live at ease, at peace, at joy, at harmony, much more of the time each day, which makes us feel what? Fulfilled, passionate, purposeful, and profitable. Anyway, that is it. It's exactly 9 o'clock here in the East Coast. We're at the Masters. Nick of Guam, you close out the room, my brother. It's time to get going for the Masters Mastermind here at the Masters. Go get him, Tiger.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, David. And thank you for everybody.
All right, everyone. We are going to get going. I want to just give a reminder. If you want the exercises, guides, and books from today, david@dmeltzer.com. If you'd like to join us, we'll be at the Masters today. We will be in Nashville for a VIP dinner and a fire walk. Then we'll be in New York for the NASDAQ Mastermind Meetup, holding court, speeches, VIP dinners, and cocktail parties. If that's not enough, we'll be in Boston for a speech, meetup, and VIP dinner. If that's not enough, we'll be in Denver for a speech, meetup, and VIP dinner. It's going to be a crazy week as usual, 200 cities. You can join us, david@dmeltzer.com. Remember, most importantly, be kind to your future self and do good deeds. Thank you so much. Hit it, Gigi.